Little storytelling around. I'm gonna do something silly. I'm gonna look at Hollywood news and go through it as a Christian curmudgeon because I'm a Christian curmudgeon. So, this channel is about role playing games and about Christians should be playing role playing games as a Christian, evangelizing and church planting. And these games right here that I have do that. Anyway, we're gonna go into the news. Let's start with Deadline. I'm here in Hollywood, so I'm part of Hollywood. I know it all. I know everybody. I'm trying to think who's the last celebrity I saw. It's funny. I was at Frank and Musso's for the first Musso and Frank's. The classic sort of steakhouse here in Hollywood. I've never been. It's only like half a mile away or whatever, and never been. Just never got around to it. But I mean, the wife and I've always been wanting to go. It's not that great. Not that great. Did not. The ambiance in it was classic Hollywood, like the wood, the dark wood. So it has the ambiance, and the waiters are dressed like butlers or whatever. It's sort of like the interior of the Magic Castle. There's a couple other places like that where it's like it feels like the old Hollywood, the 40s, 50s kind of style. Boy, the food was definitely 40s or 50s. It was just kind of boring. My daughter is she's not officially a chef, but she's got stuff on the menu and works really hard and does everything on the line and all that at Redbird. And their food there is just wonderful. And I guess whatever the modern wonderfulness is, but I guess I'm spoiled or something. Okay, so let's just move on. What am I doing? Musso and Franks. What am I talking about? Oh, the last celebrity I saw was the basketball player. I'm gonna get his name wrong. Griffin Forrest Griffin. That guy. He's not even a celebrity. Well, he was in some shows and stuff. Griffin Forrest. But he's a Christian guy. He walked by, and then I'm pretty sure another NBA player walked by because it was another tall dude, and there was another celebrity in there. Darn it! Oh, it was the guy from Pacific Rim. The first Pacific Rim, the main dude. He was in Rebel Moon. He was in there. He was right in front of us as we walked in. So I was kind of surprised, like, all these celebrities go to Musso and Frank's, and then I was sort of like intrigued by the food, and I was like, wow, this is not good, but yet everyone, it was packed, and there was even like you could see there was rich money because there was like I'm going to say it. This is like, it's like a Persian or Jewish woman there wearing a jumpsuit. Those sort of designer full-on jumpsuits. That was just hilarious. And cause we went in with a tie. I went in with a tie and suit, and wife wore a dress. And most people did not. Some people dressed up, but not really. And so a lot of people were pretty like, oh, maybe we could bring back dress codes. Just for, it's really... I am not a dress code dude. I am a ruffian. I am a but I gotta admit, when you dress up, you feel different. You feel, pageantry, gallantry. You feel gallantry in it when you do. Anyway, all right. So the football game. Let's do some Hollywood news here. Super Bowl. Okay, yeah. So I'm definitely gonna watch it. The Chiefs 49ers and Taylor Swift could Super Bowl set a viewership record. Let's see, what is that? 50 minus 20? I don't know, 33? I don't know, whatever. 50? No, it's not 33. It's like 60 something, right? Anyway, with Taylor Swift. Forget Taylor Swift, for crying out loud. We're getting annoyed seeing her on there. She is like a wreck along the side of the road. When they do show her, we're like, but then we're like, I think the reason it's setting a record is because it's the first entertainment now that I've watched where I've not been given woke on the show, in the games no more. That is out. Thank the Lord. And I've seen some good Bible quotes, and I've seen some good Bible quotes from these players and their Christianity, and we Americans. Look, most Americans are not Christian. Most Americans are not hardcore Christian. Most Americans, though, have Christian ethics and morals and values and ethos. The Christian ethos is American, and that's why we don't like gay characters. We don't like gay characters because you're telling us to like something that we're not comfortable with. And so that's why Hollywood is going broke. You're pushing LGBTQ on us and we don't want it. We don't want it. Separate it out. You make your own Will and Grace shows, promote it to whoever, but don't push it on the rest of America. Don't expect us to want it either. We don't want it. It's depressing. I could go on and on about LGBT as a depressing kind of character, which I will. Might as well. It's going to be a long video because it ends the line. You're not going to be a grandparent. If your children are LGBTQ, you're not going to be a grandparent. I mean, unless they have to Handmaid's Tale kids. They have to Handmaid's Tale kids. Surrogacy and all that, like Handmaid's Tale, because it's not, Christians don't have to Handmaid's Tale. We can have kids. We have a husband and wife. But the LGBT will have to Handmaid's Tale and get some handmaids or maidens or whatever they're called on that show that tries to pretend it's the Catholic Church, but it's really the left. They have to Handmaid's Tale their kids, and that's depressing. That's automatically a divorced kid right there. Automatically a separated from their mother or father kid. That's your grandkid. That is depressing. And it's not, and what are you, the parent that's not really, it's not really their descendant. And if your child has a kid, that kid has a mother or a father that is not part of your family anymore. A divorce too. That is depressing. We don't want divorce characters. We don't want gay characters. And this whole thief movies that are out now, and then these whole assassins, reformed assassins who got to go and kill. Those are depressing too. I understand they're successful, but the reason we like them is because the assassin is trying to reform himself, right? So that's the whole point of that. The thief is trying to do it for good, right? They're trying to be a Robin Hood in the story, or they're trying to go for some bad rich person, whatever. So we see like a thing in there that we can grab onto in our Christian ethos to enjoy the film. Because we do want to be entertained by something extreme. Because, but you know what? We do want to be entertained by something extreme. We want to dumb down our brain. We certainly do, because we just want to sit there and relax and dumb down. We absolutely want to dumb down. That's what we want from you. We want dumb down stuff. Why? Because we have smart stuff all day freaking long. We go to church and it is high intelligence. We got history going on. We got how we treat people going on. We got chivalry going on. It's high. The brain working is high. We are caring for others. We're caring for our wives and the women and the children. It is high. The security for children there is high. Okay. When we watch a movie, we want to rest. We want to be dumbed down. We want to chuckle. We want to go, yeah. We want to do something dumb because in our church, there's so many, read this book. This book has been really great, but Hollywood, we don't want smart from you. We really don't want smart from you. We have smart all day long. We have smart because we're with our wives. We have smart because we're with our children. We have smart because we're getting paychecks and we're following the laws and protecting our home. We're smart all day long. We don't need smart from you. We don't need you to tell us how smart you are. What we need from you is dumb. For an hour and a half or a show, we need dumb from you. Not smart. Don't really care. We got smart all day long. People in the Christian ethos are in this world, in the most advanced society, in the most free society, in the one that everyone looks at. We have smarts all day long. We don't need that from you. We don't want it from you. We don't want you to tell us how smart you are, because you're not. Look at your life. Okay. Box office sacked by Super Bowl. Argyle, Lisa Frankenstein, as weekend drops to current 2024 low of 40 million. Sunday update. So I also saw another article. Oh, here. What a shame. What a shame. Hollywood panics as box office sales plunge to alarming lows. Well, that's because of what I just said. We don't want smarts from you. We don't need it. We have smarts all day. We're happy. There was just a 15-year study of 30 million adults, and married people are the most happy. Married husbands and wives. And the most percentage of successful people that are married are ones that go to church weekly. That was another study done. Because they said, if marriage is a 50% failure, you're going to fail 50% of the time. Well, first off, how many of you stick to something for the rest of your life? A job? You stick to that for the rest of your life? How many of you have done that? A hobby? Have you stuck to the same hobby for the rest of your life? No, I mean, I'm assuming the hobby changes over time. Like, I mean, granted, I do D&D and RPGs, but I switched it. I had a divorce there for a while there. I had a separation for a while there. And then when I returned, it's been with a new RPGs, not the same one. So how many of you even stick with something so 50-50 is a silly notion anyway, because when you look down at the numbers, it's who's doing what. Many people use marriage for the ridiculous things, or reasons, and don't even have the belief of marriage, the true belief of marriage, which is the man leader is the leader and the wife submits. But how does a Christian define leadership? And I say it on my other videos. How does a Christian versus a pagan define leadership? A Christian defines leadership as service. So when the husband is the leader of his wife and children, what is his mindset? He's serving them. And when the wife knows he's the leader, she knows he's the leader. She knows he's serving her. And she's submitting to him. And that's the success of a marriage, is when the husband and wife go to church. She knows that he's the leader, and she knows that he's the one that makes the final call, but she obviously knows to help him. She's also his aide, his helper. And if you want to see a great version of that, which I'm kind of annoyed, is Avatar, The Way of the Water, whatever the latest one. That depicts husband and wife as in the Christian motif. So James freaking Cameron, who's not a Christian, who's a pagan, yet he uses the whole Christian ethos, because that's what he was raised in. He's older than me, and Christian ethos was everywhere back then. He depicted him so well. I don't know of any Christian film that had depicted, which is upsetting, husband and wife as well as he did in that film. And both couples too, the main couples and then the tribe that they went to. Check that out if you want. I gotta watch that again just to watch the husband leading and the wife submitting. I gotta watch that. And both are strong in it. Anyway, and that's the way he lives his life too. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so let's go. Argyle is gonna not do well. I just saw the trailer for Argyle, and I like some of the actors in there. I guess the main guy, or the Superman guy, Henry Cavill. And I like the Sam guy, the Sam actor. I like him as an actor. I don't know. I haven't heard anything like hardcore Democrat or pushy. I haven't heard any Pedro Pascal out of him. I don't know, or many of these actors that are in this film. And I hope it does well. It looked like fun. It looks like it's trying to be a fun movie. So I hope it does well. I mean, it's about a heroine, like a woman author writer, which is not to my appeal and most men's appeal. We just don't really care about that. But it look cool. You got a sexy woman there. Oops, can't see it. And yes, we do want sexy women. Even Christians, we want appealing, beautiful women. Yep, that's what we want. Okay? She looks like a villain. And I don't mind them, I'm against women wielding battle axes and acting like men. I'm totally against that. And even in the RPGs, I'm against how they're basically erasing women and making them, to a pagan, by the way, pagan is everyone that's not a Christian. To a pagan, because you're your own God. Okay, that's a pagan. You can make it whatever religion you want. Democrats. Okay, so a pagan like to make women just act like men. Like look at this. She's on a motorcycle. She has a machine gun. Oh, but she's going to be sexualized as well. Okay, so we Christian men, what do we want of this? Yeah, we want to see beautiful women, and we don't mind that they're doing this because it's a silly movie. It's a silly, fun movie, and that's fine. It's when they try to make them like, I am woman. I can do anything. You're just doing what men do. That's not really doing anything. You're just copying what men do. Women do things, by the way. Women do things in our culture and history that only women do, or women do well. Men can do them, they just don't do it well. Women can do what men do, just not well. But the thing is, you're erasing what women do. You're actually erasing them. If you look at, I did a little search once for the most famous medieval women, and they were all either nuns or patron ladies, like that accomplished and changed history in some way. They were not warriors. There was no battle axe wielding warrior dude like in the medieval history, like the men ones who are like kings and war in battles and did things. All right. Anyway, Cillian Murphy reveals the text he sent to bag his role in Peaky Blinders. So what I want to say about that is the Peaky Blinders show was interesting, but it's just a gang show. Probably the most interesting thing that we liked about it, the wife and I, was that it was in London in the old days, and we wanted to see those kind of sets and the clothes, and so we enjoyed that. The story, I wasn't too thrilled on, and we didn't even finish the last season. It was okay, but there was no Christianity, which was odd, or not very much anyway that I recall. and this is a very Christian society, even with these criminals. But England, if you really look back at it, England had a really, before today, England was very Christian, very, come on, this Peaky Blinders is coming off the people that did this, that died for 100 years to end slavery. And there's nothing, how come they don't do a show like this? Who cares about Peaky Blinders? It has, I think it's based on a real thing. I don't know, but it has no impact on the world. Yet something like this, the White Devils, which I call them now because that's what they were called. They were called the White Devils, so that the slaves would remain slaves and be afraid of the people that were trying to free them. The white Christian colonizers were trying to free the slaves, and the Spanish slavers, along with the Portuguese slavers, and along with the local the chiefs, the African chiefs, were telling the slave that the White Devils were going to come and eat you. The white supremacists, the white supremacist devils, and the white saviors, and that's what Democrats are saying to you today. Don't listen to those MAGA people, the white supremacists. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to those white supremacists. And yet here we are, the MAGA people are trying to save you from the Bidenomics and Biden Democrats. And same history repeating itself. Why don't they do a show about that? They won't do a show like that. Where's my hand? I want to point. Why don't they do a show like instead of this Peaky Blinder stuff, which it's just an adulation of crime and criminals and paganism. They just always do shows about pagans. They will never do a show about just real history. And there was one show about the Templars. Or you're right. I watched the first season. It was depressing. It was ridiculous. They just showed them being adulterers. The main guy was an adulterer. They were trying to do good, but they were just dolts. And it was just kind of like, and to make the main guy a freaking adulterer, the main Templar, is just like ridiculous. It's just so pathetic because their chivalry was all about being, they had rules, and they prayed every day and they had their swords, but yet these films are going to show them as just being pagans, really, with the motif of Christianity. And I'm gonna make. By the way, I'm making it to a Templar role playing game soon, or Knights, Holy Knights, 13th, 14th century RPG setting. That's very gothic-y. I'm going to work on that soon, I hope. I got to finish the Christian Space one and work on my other two a little more. Why Nicole Kidman was absent from era-defining Vogue cover, don't really care. Her plastic surgery is depressing. I would rather see an old woman, Nicole Kidman as an old woman, because she is, than the plastic that she's got on her face. It is just, because I'm with God now, old women to me are beautiful now. I since I became a Christian. I find old women beautiful and intriguing, and they tell me a story. Their faces, their wrinkles, their gray hair. Here we go. This one tells me a story. Now, I know this story. I know a little bit about this. I don't know that much about her, but I know she came in afterwards and all that, after Princess died and all that. But this to me is more attractive than this. It's more beautiful. It's more life affirming. It's more, I don't want... When I was before I was a Christian, I wanted my wife to have fake boobs, do this, do that, clean. She's got her scars on her from giving birth, loose skin kind of scars. Today, it's all beautiful to me. When I became a Christian, I told God I love my wife and daughter so much, and He goes, nope. And then I said, and then when I became a Christian, I said, God, I love you more than I love my own wife and daughters. And I told my wife and daughters this. I said, God, I love you more than I love my wife and daughters, right? And I knew that. I knew that was the way you had to be with God. I love you more. And so, what is God's response to me? And doesn't say it in words, but I knew, and they knew too. They saw it. They witnessed it in me. God said to me, not in words, but I felt it. He said, now I'm going to show you how to love your wife and daughters. That's what happened. I said, I thought I loved my wife and daughter so much in my pagan little godness. I thought I loved them so much, but all I wanted was her to be a porn chick because of my porn addiction and masturbating to porn. And all I wanted my daughters to be, I yelled at them. I yelled at them with such anger. I loved them. I loved them so much, but I would burst out in anger just because they did something silly or dumb as a little child. I never hit them or anything, but I would yell at them too much. Like the one big one, which really hit me, it was really sad. and I feel horrible about it. And I've already, asked for their forgiveness, for my daughter's forgiveness, and she understands. They're great now. But anyway, this one was just, it's minor, but it was implication of everything. We got a new car, and when I go into reverse, the reverse camera comes on in the little screen. And this was back when they started, and I'm like, check it out. She jumps in the passenger seat, is all excited about her new car, and then she pushes a button to turn like the radio on or something, and it turns off the reverse camera. And I'm like, wow! And I yelled at her, and she's a little girl in the passenger seat looking up at me, frozen, as I yelled. And not just once did I yell, I kept going on and on and on. All I had to do was go in reverse again, and it would turn the camera back on. But yet I yelled at her for getting all excited about the new car. Yet I as a pagan loved her so much. When I became a Christian and loved God and knew God and started talking to God and Jesus, they said to me, we're going to show you how to love your wife and daughters. And my journey from that point on was the most beautiful, wonderful thing. My relationship with my wife, just incredible. The growth we have together now, and the silliness is incredible. I don't want her. I want her scars. I want her wrinkles. I want her. Her scars are the marks of our life together. She's bearing the scars of our life together. I have scars too, but mine are the stupidities of man that she had to take care of me. But her scars are bearing the life of our journey together. And I love them. I love everybody. I don't want her to change. My daughters, I took a journey of self-realization that I had anger issues, and I had to deal with that and deal with them more fairly. Okay, why'd you get me started on this? Okay, I don't know much about that. So Martin Scorsese thanks the Osage Nation for Killers of the Flower Moon. Without them, it would not be the picture you see today. Okay, I did not watch it yet, and I do want to watch it, but I am a little tired of the white man bad, pagans good. And there is I've talked to a guy that he's up in Canada, and he really likes my game, the idea of what I'm doing. And so he's telling me about how, and he does ministry to the Native American Indians. He says the Native American, I say Indians, the Indians up in Canada. And he says they're becoming more and more pagan. The church is like being, we're being white guilt, white guilt, white supremacists, white devils. We're being called that from the liberals and the left. And so the Indians are resorting back to paganism, and there's like tons of kidnappings going on that no one talks about. All kinds of sexual shaman things going on. And the Indians are resorting back to this horrible, dark gang warfare type of culture. I mean, so are whites, but we're being lulled or guilted, and we're being white deviled. And we need to stop it. We need to, just take on that moniker. Yeah, I'm a white devil, and I'll explain to you what white devil is. It's an actual savior, because you're being told to fear us. Because the Royal Navy was out there trying to free you from slavery, and they were called the white devils. So you guys need to come out with a good phrase for white devils, because we need to like. I was thinking of actually calling the RPG white devils, but I want to call it the African Squadron. But I was thinking about calling it well, but I'll probably put it underneath it, the white devils, because we need to put their slander right back in their face, to make them realize it's just ridiculous slander. So here's the thing. There's no movie about, and Martin Scorsese did that great film about in Japan, how the Catholic priests were, the church was wiped out, and the Christians were pretty much wiped out in Japan. And that's what led to the emperor, which led to World War II, which led to the horrific slaughtering of Chinese, the other Asians across Asia. Japan did not have any Christian balance in there at all. They were wiped out. And he did a film on that. I forgot what it's called. The something. It was good though. It was torturous to watch. But Killers of the Flower Moon, I'm like, where is the film about the missionaries who converted and changed the Indians to peaceful, a peaceful civilized tribes? Where's that film? Because there's a lot of Indians here in America that are Christian, and I even had one playing on the Star Wars RPG, and he was good. It was unfortunately he was in a remote, tough area. The connection was bad. We were playing he's in my Star Wars RPG series, but Christian, and he even when I was making For the Lord RPG, he had some criticisms of what I was doing, which were good. And he helped me get a couple things a little more fixed or better, but and I would love for him to play again. I've asked him a couple times, but we're just scheduling wise. I should probably see if how he's doing. But whatever. Christian, where's the cool? I mean, Christianity missionaries changed the world, and we don't have very many films about it. Actually, last night I just watched one called. I just watched it. It was from 1986. I can't remember the name. With Jeremy Irons and Robert De Niro, called The Mission. Was that what it's called? I just watched it last night. It was a wonderful film, but very depressing, but very cool. I like the way it did put kind of, it made it the struggle of the church. It's called The Mission. Oh my gosh. I should make sure I know this because I just watched it. And I do like it because it does give me a sense of, sorry, I'm doing multitasking here and I can't multitask. My stuff. I'm getting all weird here. Sorry, it's getting all weird. It is called The Mission. It is called The Mission, and it's an old film. It's a little slower, but very epic. The wonderful scenes. However, I bet you James Cameron because it was in 1986. It was a great film. James Cameron, I bet, got at and most of Hollywood fell in love with because it depicts the South American tribe, a remote tribe. It depicts it quite well, as far as like the scenery and then them. And it has a positive look on them because they became Christians and they were at the mission. But I think that Hollywood, still in their paganism, like adulated on that and worshiped that, and that's where a lot of like this sort of pagan or natives came from. I bet you came from that film, even though it's a very Christian or Catholic film, about Jesuits. I bet you they just took it and ran with that part of it. Anyway, so Christopher Nolan, The Last of Us, whatever. I don't care about this. The DGA Awards. So I didn't watch Oppenheimer. I do kind of want to watch it. I do want to watch it. My son said that it was good. And he's a young guy, so he still watched that 3-hour movie. I just haven't gotten around to watching it. Let's move on. So Christopher Nolan. I do like Christopher Nolan. He's good. His films are, okay. I hate this guy, Judd Apatow. Really, I hate. If I'm allowed to hate, I really hate this guy. He is such a passive aggressive. So here's a joke he did at the DGA about he roasts Biden and Trump. Well, bull. He doesn't roast Biden here. But look at this. He says a guy old enough to have met Hitler, Biden, and a guy who wishes he had, Trump. Wishes he had met Hitler. So the lefties, these pagans, and I don't consider him a Jew. I don't think he worships God. I would say that Joshua in the Old Testament will look at Judd and say, no, you're not a Jew. You're not of God. Absolutely not. Joshua warned all of them if they don't worship God, love him, he won't watch over them. He won't watch over them, right? That's what it says. It says Joshua says that in the movie. And this guy is not a God. He doesn't love his God. A guy who wishes he had. That's how evil is that? That's white devil right there. He's doing the white devil thing. He doesn't want us to be free. He wants us to be under the left and Democrats, under their iron fist. I looked at his Twitter, his ex, same thing. He's just politics, pushing left-wing agenda. This guy's evil. And then his movies, though, his light comedies, for the most part, well, they're all crude, sexually crude, but yet they're all about being a husband and wife or trying to pursue a good moral value. And yet he's pushing for the Democrats. And I don't know, is he pushing his kids or grandkids to be trans? Do they push their own kids to be trans? I don't know. Let's see. Or I don't know if he's a grandkid or now, a grandparent. Anyway, so I just, if I'm allowed to hate this guy, I hate this guy. He's just whatever. I hope never to watch any more of his stuff ever again. Judd Apatow was lame. The Golden box office, Lisa Frankenstein. I don't know anything about that. Switching it to a girl, that's fine when you do like a modern day thing like this. Like, to me, that's fine. I think that's, it looks like, they're doing a Lisa Frankenstein instead of the male Dr. Frankenstein, but it's a modern day setting. So I don't mind that. I don't mind that kind of, if it's funny, if it's got a good thing to it, I mean, it doesn't look like it's doing well. Anything else here I want to quickly look at? Now let me move over to, Hollywood Reporter. This one I haven't looked at. Okay, so we already know that story. Tracker review. Justin Norland plays a gig economy Jack Reacher in CBS fast moving but bland thriller. Don't really care or don't know. Suits star. I don't watch Suits. The Conjuring 4 finds a director with Michael Shafts. Okay, so I guess I've never watched any of these Conjuring films. The Conjuring. They're Christian. They're I don't know if they're Catholic or whatever. I just, maybe I should just because they sound kind of cool. I know. I just haven't watched it. And, not that they're Christian. They're more like horror with a Christian motif. I'm assuming they're more like a horror with a Christian motif. And in other words, they're not using evangelism. They're not using the Holy Spirit. They're not using Jesus Christ. They're just using exorcism scenes. I don't know. I haven't seen them, so I don't know. I probably should stop talking. I should probably watch them just to see. I have probably not. The new Predator movie in the works with Dan Trachtenberg. I love Predator. It's totally violent. I know. That's a sin. I just love the concept and I should do that in my ttrpg. But it is pretty dark. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well. Jurassic World loses director David. Okay, Jurassic World. So the Jurassics, oh my God, the feathered dinosaurs, for crying out loud. It's so pathetic. There's no proof of that. And they're mixing in bird type creatures with dinosaurs, and there's only like one or two or whatever, and of course one of them was I'm just vaguely going over what I studied on it because I just got a little stuffy nose, I think because I'm talking so much. I'm a creation dude, just so you know. Full confidence in creation science. I love it. I've got to do the creation 101. I can like map out creation for you, the basics, so you can get the full understanding of it. I just haven't done it. I should do it. I've done a few videos of it, just like practice videos in the past, and I should be a little bit better at it now, a little better drawing. But okay, what else? Bachelor. I don't know Bachelor. Suits. Grey's Anatomy. Okay, Suits. I think that's it for me. That guy. Oh, I saw Elvis. That was interesting. I like that movie. I'm looking at this little bit here. Austin Butler played Elvis. I haven't watched Masters of the Air, but I heard it's good. Very conservatives are liking it. I heard that, so that's kind of cool. I don't see any Christian. Oh man, I really hate this dude Trevor Noah and their whole the witches. The Grammys were full of Satanists and witches, so they're on the rise again. People, we need to go gothic RPG. Gothic on them. We need to go rebuke openly, like I'm doing right now. That's a sin. What they're doing is Satanism. It's wrong. It's evil. We need to call it out all the time. We need to call it out. Okay. That's from a Christian view. We have that right, that freedom of speech in a public forum, which this is. YouTube is a public forum. We have the right to speak the way we want. Now, if you're going to control the content of what I say, then, or what people say on YouTube, then you should be liable for that content, and that should be a truth as well. But if you're going to allow us to be free thinkers, which is what you should be, and we shouldn't lose our rights in any public forum. I understand, though, a modicum of decorum. I understand that. That's absolutely fine to me. But that's as a Christians, that's what we believe. Oh, Seth Rogen on his cannabis lifestyle brand. Wow, cannabis. So pagans love their drugs. They have to use drugs. In the past, it's in the Bible, it says sorcery, which is part of it, but it's really alchemy. And the Greek word is actually alchemy, not sorcery. So they use drugs, peyote, whatever, ecstasy. Love potions is ecstasy. It's a rape drug. The most common pagan spell was a love potion, and that was ecstasy or a rape drug. You're basically putting that in their drink, in the woman's drink, and then you rape them, and then you consummate that, and then they have to marry you. Imagine that. That's how horrifying that is. It's slavery and imprisonment is what they're trying to do. They're trying to, a pagan man. Remember, the most common drug the witches sold was love potions. So, and it was very big. So, women were getting drugged all the time in the pagan lands, and the only people that called that out were the monasteries and the monks and the church. Those are the only people calling it out. And today, we're trying to call it out as well. Stop doing drugs. Whereas who's pushing drugs? The Democrat Party. And cannabis is legal not because we chose it to be legal, but because Democrats did all a bunch of wranglings and illegal stuff to just push it. And even though the federal government still says it's illegal, they're pushing the legality of it, and they're pushing it on us, and they're white deviling us. They're white deviling us because we think that it's bad for you. And they're using alcohol, alcohol is bad for you too, but they're using it to ruin your lives or whatever, to shame you. But it's a drug, and it's debilitating, and it's destructive. Okay. Anyway. Oh, what is this? I don't know. What am I reading? I don't know what that one is. Okay. So I think that's good enough. My little rant on Hollywood and how flubby wubby it is, and we don't want to see gay characters. We don't. It's depressing. Their lives. The Last of Us had that episode, or had 2 episodes. 2 out of the 8 episodes were gay episodes. One of 2 gay men, and one of the lesbian, the girls, the main character. So the one the gay men proved to you exactly why it's depressing. They can't have children. These 2 gay men bunkered up, in the zombie apocalypse. And then they went through the 15 years of their life together or whatever. And they did all this total brainwashing crap. Did Judd Apatow direct that one? I don't know. But it showed how they had to do mutual suicide at the end. If there was a man and woman bunkered up, what do you think they'd do? Well, they'd have children. And by the end of that 15 years, they would have had a 15-year-old or a 14-year-old. And they would have had a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old. And they would have been able to live longer. And the 15-year-old would have been able to take care of them. And they would have had kids. And then those kids would have probably been healthy enough, strong enough, living in a world and adjusted to it, that they could then go out and figure out what's going on, and they build, and they bring in other people or rescue people. But when it's just 2 of them, they bunkered down, they got all their wine and fancy food, and they farmed their own food, and they killed anyone that tried to come to them, right? Imagine a society then where we are constantly pushing LGBTQ. You're going to have a society of Handmaid's Tale, I guess. You're going to have a Handmaid's Tale society, clones, surrogacy, slaves, but a dead society, because we have a society. What's a Christian society? A father who raised their children, and they get to decide what their children are. Not Canada. Canada's government doesn't get to decide what your children do. Democrats don't get to decide what the education of your children. You husband and wife together for life. A beautiful, wonderful relationship that I just explained to you earlier in this video. That's the society of Christianity, and Jesus is offering, and God is offering, where you have your family. It's your family. The 10th commandment of the 10 commandments is, thou shalt not covet your wife and property. So the government cannot take your wife and property from you. That's a commandment, one of the 10 essential commandments by God. You cannot covet the wife and property of another person. The wife is the family. You cannot covet that. So that is one of the 10. It's up there with murder. With stealing. Stealing destroys people's lives, their livelihoods, their jobs, their business. When you destroy a person's livelihood, you're murdering them. So stealing is something Democrats don't mind. Look at all the inner cities and the cities. Look at my city, Hollywood. Murder. They don't mind murdering the innocent. What's interesting, thou shalt not murder, means you're killing the innocent people, like someone is not deserving of death. That's murder. And and of course the Bible says no one that is born is innocent. Like, we're all sinners. So the only innocent are the ones that are not born. So you murder. So that commandment, what's the fifth commandment, sixth commandment? Thou shalt not murder. It says that, and in my view, it says like, thou shalt not, don't kill babies, but don't murder people too, innocent people of a charge. So yeah, we live in a life right now of paganism, and it's destructive. And if that's what you want, then I guess, keep pushing gay characters. If you want your children to grow up in a society where we shrink and we shrivel and we Handmaid's Tale it, and we sexualize the children, we murder children we don't want, keep pushing LGBTQ. I guess that's what you want to do. But we Christians want a different world. And, obviously we know what the end story is, but we want a world where we honor mothers and fathers. We don't call them birthing parents. We honor mothers, women, and fathers, men. And we honor, and in that you honor the children, and the fathers and mothers have to honor father and motherhood as well. They have to honor that. And that law, that commandment should create legislation that creates a society that favors that. That's what the 10 commandments are. You create legislation that favors those things, that help those things. But obviously we don't want to throw stones at the sinner. We don't want to throw stones at the sinner, but we do want to create a modicum of decorum in our laws. But so do you, in what you want, pushing LGBT in the public schools. I don't know who voted for that, but apparently you're just doing it. You're just doing it. Who voted for the illegal immigration funding? I don't know. But you Democrats, you're just doing it. That's called tyranny. When you do something without legislation, that's tyranny. Because you're picking and choosing what to do. And where are you getting the money from? Without people actually voting on it. That's tyranny. That is the essence of tyranny. Doing things with other people's money without them even knowing or agreeing to it. And that's what you're doing with this illegal immigration camps and whatever the heck, housings, and how you got cannabis passed, how you got the gay marriage thing passed. You did it through wranglings, not even through the choice of the people. Remember, California, we voted marriage defined as a man and woman. California voted that, and the left canceled it. They just canceled it. And then to defend it was it was voted in, and our Constitution, it was voted in by the people. And Gray Davis and the Democrats just said no. They just said no, and they had to go to court. And then the judge, who was a gay judge, hardcore gay activist, how did they pick him? He listened to all. He was so open and level-headed. Said no. He ranted. His thing was a rant against it, and said nope. And so it was struck down because of Democrats, not because of the people. And then, of course, across America, it's just started happening. And then, gee, what happened after that? Well, look at society today. Okay, I think that's enough Sunday morning. I got to go to church pretty soon, hour and a half, and I think I need to relax too. I need to relax and dumb down my brain before I go to church, because church is like, yeah. And then we got the Super Bowl, so I'm going to dumb down for the Super Bowl as well, because I want to dumb down. I actually all week work on ministry, like on that. This is ministry, man. And you too. Are you looking for a way to serve the Lord? Start playing this game with your friends, because this is you having RPG, adventure, fun, you're creating stories. And as you create these stories, you're thinking of Christ. Because you're thinking of ways to teach lessons, not even teach lessons. It's just, it's not even about teaching lessons. It's about making paganism evil. It's very easy to find and putting it in the maps. They all worship pagan evil gods, and they want to enslave and kill. And they don't have any other viewpoint. They have no other viewpoint. So your goal is to get the adventurers to go out and change the viewpoints of evil. Not all are going to change their minds. That's when you can have fun combat. But some you can save, and they may change their minds and become good and become part of your Christian church and all that. Watch the series I have. I know I'm thinking about editing them down, because there's a lot of slow points, like where we're just dealing with dice rules or whatever, or technical problems. But I just love what I'm doing. I love this is a ministry, because we're putting it on, and we're showing you how we're constantly in the game. They're talking about the Lord and about teaching a bunch of pagan adults about the Lord in the game. while shooting lasers and taking out space beasts and having and building up a church, building up churches, planting churches. Watch the game, get these games. They show you how to do it. I'm still refining the rules. The rules for beginning playing is pretty there, but the characters, they're getting some more advanced. They're getting all these crazy ideas and new and going up levels. So it's they're getting like higher leveled. So I'm trying to polish it up, those upper level type of things in this new second edition of the version, which is coming out soon. I got it on Kickstarter right now. The three of you that are still watching to the end here, thank you so much. And happy Sunday morning, happy church day. I'm gonna have your cheat day. I'm gonna have my cheat day today. Watch the Super Bowl, but I'm gonna be working the rest of the week for the Lord with my RPG, which is what I'm doing, and I love it. Anyway, all right. In the game of life, every day you should be, on those tables, in those conventions, rolling holy dice.